What's going on, guys? Gary here with the Raz Group, back in another video. Today we're going to be talking about my rifle. Specifically, we're going to be talking about some things that have changed or are soon to be changing after doing 6 months of two-gun, and some things that I found that help contribute to my success. Let's dive into it. Alright guys, so this isn't really going to be so much of like a full rifle breakdown, right? This is going to be essentially just some considerations of things that I noticed or found worked for me. So muzzle devices, right? I'm still using the modern material included brake. This thing is excellent for what it does. It definitely helps keep the gun flat. Great brake. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't think you need to be running a brake unless it is solely a competition-driven gun. And if it's not a competition-driven gun, i.e. like a general purpose rifle, dual rifle, whatever, hot button term you want to use, then I would definitely choose a muzzle device that's a suppressor host. Kind of the extremes of both ends, I'm talking about a muzzle brake versus a suppressed rifle, but I think those are your two best options. If you're going to choose a direction to go in, you might as well do either of those to the maximum extent and be successful in doing so. I understand that there's happy mediums like the A2 flash hider. It's a great option. But if my goal is to minimize the flash of my muzzle, I kind of want to go full bore if that's what I'm looking to do. Just like if my goal is to have the flattest rifle possible, i.e. this with the brake, I would probably opt to keep this brake or do some research and find the absolute best brake that's on the market. That's kind of where I've landed after spending a lot more time with my rifle and doing two-gun. So let's talk about the next thing. Alright, next I want to talk about the handguard and attachments and all that stuff. So as you can see, I have no grip on here whatsoever, right? Very slick across the bottom. That is by design. I tried several hand stops, vertical grips, foregrips, whatever you want to call them, from several companies, all great. Whenever we mount a hand stop on a handguard, it always seems to be mounted right where you ideally want to put your hand, and it's like, okay, well, it's just pushing my hand a little bit farther down the rail. That's acceptable, right? At least that's what a lot of people think. From what I've gathered, I don't think that placing your hand all the way down as far as you can get closest to the muzzle is controlling the gun as much as you think you're controlling the gun. If anything, I found having kind of a middle of the handguard support hand grip, whether you want to, thumb on side, C-clamp over, whatever you want to do. I found that having more of a neutral middle of the handguard spot, no matter what technique you want to use, with allowing my support side elbow to be more drop down than extended or flared out, gave me the best kind of predictability and return to zero on my optic. I just decided to eliminate the hand stop entirely. Plus, when you're working a barricade and you're going in a port, out of port, out of port, in a port, out of port, in a port, it's just easier. It's simpler. Like I don't have a hand stop kind of stopping my muzzle from really choking up on a barrier or obstacle or whatever I need to use to send shots downrange. Completely eliminated pressure pads. I chose to keep my same weapon-like concoction with the Surefire tail cap, Arisaka body, Mod Light Legacy head. I've had really good success with just bringing the rifle up and manipulating my thumb over. I can feel the back of the tail cap. I know exactly where the button is. I can activate it. It's not a problem. I think everybody should try running no pressure pad on at least one of their systems, one of their setups at some point. But that's just personally what's been working for me. I have no issue in activating the light versus deactivating the light. Nothing wrong at all. I think the last thing to talk about as far as the handguard is my sling placement. So my forward sling point is mounted at the top of the receiver at an angle. I'm not using the M-lock section back here anymore. I actually took that and added it to the front because there is some merit to, depending on what you're doing with your rifle, how you're going to run that. I think that this gives me the best of all the worlds, and what I was noticing is as I was coming in for my reloads, so I'm here, reload coming up, right? This sling, if it's mounted here, was actually stopping my hand from coming up, magazine, and just sliding my grip back onto the gun. I didn't really like that because I should not be working around my gear. My gear should be working for me. So if I'm out here, right, and I come here and I come up and I'm catching the sling on my thumb, that's a big problem. Versus just being able to come up and literally slide my hand back into position in the most direct path possible, right? I'm not stopping and coming out and around the sling. So that is, I think, all the stuff for what's changed and what's stayed the same on the front of the rifle. Let's talk about the optic system next. All right, guys, so talking about optics, and this is not really a change, but more a realization, kind of a principle that I'm going to be following going forward anyway. Still got the EOTech. As you can see, I have a magnifier. Now, something that I realized pretty quickly in two-gun is you are going to be engaging targets anywhere from 7 yards to 300 yards, potentially, on the same stage, right? Is it common? No. Does it happen? Yes. And do you have some stages that are all at extended distances, i.e. like a 70-yard Texas Star into 100 to 150-yard pieces of steel? Yeah. Do I need a magnifier for 100-yard man-sized steel? No. Did a magnifier greatly help me run a 70-yard Texas Star faster, though? Yes, absolutely. Now, that being said, it's not a 6x magnifier. This is a 3x. I think 3 to 4x magnifiers are the sweet spot. I think it gives you enough eye relief with enough magnification to see better, but not kind of lose track of things as they're moving inside of your window. This is on a QD, so if I'm running something for the day and I know I'm not going to need it, I can QD it off. But there's a principle to be had here, right? I'm a firm believer that at this point in time, every carbine should have the means of a magnified and a 1x option. What that means to you is completely up to you. I don't care if it's a ACOG with a top-mounted RMR, or an LPVO with a offset dot, or just an LPVO, or a dot with a magnifier. But I think that there is definitely some merit to this idea that the whole purpose of a carbine, and why I would choose a carbine in a fight over a handgun, if we're just talking about like fire superiority, not concealability, anything else. We could go way into the weeds on this. Oh, sorry. Something on the building just turned on and freaked me out. We could go way into the weeds on that. But the whole point of a rifle is speed and accuracy at extended distance, right? I don't have to sacrifice speed, I don't have to sacrifice accuracy just because I am at an extended distance that's not, say ideal for a handgun. Being able to magnify and see things better, I mean, let alone from PID, but the ability to just magnify something to place a more accountable shot, I think is worth it in itself. And you can do, this is what I did. I put a magnifier on here. It's on a Unity QD. I can pop it on, I can pop it off. If I'm training on the range something specific and I don't need the magnifier, cool, I can pop it off. If I am training something on the range where, say I'm doing a bill drill at 7 and transitioning to a 50-yard bill drill, and maybe it's a partial target or some other type of more obscure target that I'm trying to shoot, cool, I'm going to magnify that and I'm going to send my rounds about as quickly and accurately as I can. So at this point in time, any gun that I own, any rifle, will have some sort of magnified option to it. I might do more of a discussion on this later, because there is an argument why you should even have a magnified option for a PCC, depending on what that gun is capable of. But I'm not going to get too into the weeds with that. All right, let's move on to my last point. So last point here is my rear placement of my my sling, which is off of the end plate here. And I opted to do that instead of on the stock for a couple reasons. And I first heard this from Mark Achenbeck of First Defense USA at Ohio Range Day, and I've also since heard it from Nick Young at Velox Training. Probably some other guys too. Sorry if I'm not including you in this revelation that took me so long to do. You still maintain those 2-point advantages, right? I think that 2 points beat single point slings, hands down. I don't own any single point slings, don't have any intentions to. Maybe if I had like an MP5 or something weird, I don't know. Still probably not. What I do like about this though is the sling where it's at, and I don't really want to unravel my sling, even though it's for the video, so sorry guys. But with the sling on the stock, if I come up over my shoulder, I have minimal room. As soon as I took that and mounted it here, I can bring this gun all the way back into here, which I'm not, this is no CQB, I'm not speaking to this at all. What I'm talking about is like changing ports on a barricade. Like, it's much easier, because I should never have to step back off to step back in. What I want to be able to do is come in, go to the port, engage, come back over my shoulder, change my level, engage, all that stuff. I don't want to actually change I don't want to move my body a whole ton just to change ports on the same barricade, right? Hopefully that makes sense. It's the same principle as anything else, where if it's inefficient movement, it adds time, and it's not going to be your best path to success. I'm very happy with this setup. Obviously, modern material rifles run like a top, so get you one of them. If you guys want, I now have an affiliate link to send you instead of a code. So, or if you guys just want to show them how much you love RAS Group, order a t-shirt from them and put RAS5 in the order notes. That'd be dope. Other than that, there's really nothing performance-driven that I've added to this gun. I'll do a comprehensive breakdown of this gun again someday, because there are some components that got swapped around, but nothing detrimental that you're going to care about. Make sure you guys check out Brownells. Use code BOP10 at checkout. Save you some cash there. I believe it's 10% off orders $150 or more. Some stuff is excluded, but most of it isn't. Pretty dope. And then most of the stuff on this gun, in one form or another, at least the EOTech and the mounts and the charging handle. There's a shit ton of stuff that came from Brownells. Local FFL affiliate, Winchester Armament, check him out. We got Locks & Company, Guerrilla Gun Works, Gap Monkey Slings, obviously Mod Mat, Crate Tactical with the targets. They do some killer stuff. You know, if I forgot any, I apologize. It's cold. But that's about it, guys. So I appreciate you watching the video. Like I said, hopefully this helps somebody out there. Like I said, any questions, throw them down below, hit me up. You guys know the deal. Stay safe, stay trained, stay rad. I'll be back with the next one.